Welcome to the short session on planning menus to meet the USDA Child Nutrition Program's meal patterns, presented by the Oregon Department of Education Child Nutrition Programs. In this segment, Show Me How and Tell Me More, we will cover a summary of menu planning basics and considerations, including why it is important to keep each of the basics and considerations in mind in order to plan a dynamic menu. Let's begin. The nutritional value of the meals and snacks and compliance with USDA Child Nutrition Program requirements depends on careful menu planning. The menu determines what foods are purchased, how foods are prepared, staff qualifications for food preparation, and food preparation equipment. When planning a menu, you want to ensure that you are not only meeting the meal pattern requirements, but also offering a menu which resonates with your participants' preferences and palates. To do so, keep the following considerations in mind: meal pattern guidelines, network share ideas, available product, seasonality local, participant preference, and budget. Guidelines. First, consider which program you are planning for. Are you developing a menu for the Child and Adult Care Food Program, National School Lunch Program, or Summer Food Service Program? Whichever program you are operating will steer you toward a different set of guidelines and a different meal pattern. You will need to become fluent in the requirements prior to planning your menu. Next, consider which meal you are offering under the program you are operating. Meal options may include breakfast, lunch, snack, and supper. Again, each meal has a different set of guidelines and a separate meal pattern to follow. Finally, what are the age and group requirements that you need to adhere to? Are you serving multiple groups? Overlapping? For more in-depth training on specific meal pattern, please visit the Oregon Department of Education Child Nutrition Programs training website. Network and share ideas. Once you understand the regulations for the program and meal you are planning for, you can network with other sponsors. You can network with folks across Oregon, or narrow down your networking pool to sponsors who share the same geographical region as you. Are they working with a cycle menu or a fixed menu? Do they have recipes or menu ideas that are successful and those that were not successful? Do they work with vendors or products that they really like, those they don't, products that are available, products that aren't? Can they offer advice or guidance for you as you go through this process? Available product. Think about what product is available to you. What can you get from your distributor, from USDA Foods, from local farms or processors, from the local grocery store, etc.? Does availability of certain products vary season to season? Seasonality and local. Don't forget to consider seasonality and locality. What items are in season when you are planning your menu? Consider how you might rotate fruits and vegetables into and out of your menus based on the seasonality of the items. Can you bring in farm to school or local procurement? Think about local products. First, what are you currently purchasing that is local? Many times districts are purchasing milk from local dairies and processors. Sometimes distributors or vendors are actually providing you with local products that you may not even be aware of. Ask them for a list. What other locally grown or processed materials can you incorporate into your menu? How do you want to start adding items? You can consider harvest of the month, local food days, or start incorporating new items daily. For more information about farm to school and school garden programs, visit the Oregon Department of Education Child Nutrition webpage. Participant preference. The most important part is to consider your audience and their preferences. The environment in which your participants learn can be used to teach them where foods come from and the nutritional value of food. Learning about food and watching peers and teachers try new foods can help motivate participants to taste foods that they may not have experienced before or do not have access to at home. Taste testing foods prior to adding the food to the menu will encourage children to try new foods, create satisfied customers, and help save money by reducing food waste. Don't forget about including the staff, not just the nutrition staff, but also the administrative staff, teachers, aides, and other staff within your organization. They have a lot of influence on the participants in their care. If they can talk about the food they're served through various avenues, participants are often more willing to try it. Budget. Finally, like any well-run business, your child nutrition program needs a budget to help you establish priorities, make decisions, and know how your program dollars will be generated and spent. Once you are at the stage of building your menu and you have reviewed the considerations we just touched on, keep in mind the following basics: delivery, storage. familiarity, novelty, cultural relevance, high cost versus low cost, holidays, seasons, leftovers, preparation methods and equipment, raw versus cooked, seasonality, shapes, colors, textures, and finally, variety. Delivery and storage. The space that you have available to you will play a role in which food items you can place on your menu. It is great if you are able to buy things in bulk and save money, but do you have the space to store it? Can you accommodate large food orders with deliveries weekly, or do you need daily deliveries? Do you have enough freezer and cooler space to store items? Which items can be stored outside of refrigeration? A balance between things that are familiar, things like chicken nuggets and hamburgers, and things that are novel or new, things like chicken curry or garbanzo bean chili. This menu planning basic also provides an avenue for trying new things and learning about different foods and culturally significant foods based on the population you are serving. Honoring your participants' ethnic and cultural food preferences is essential for food acceptance. Of course, we also need to consider cost. It is a good idea to balance high-cost items with some lower-cost items to keep you on budget. Consider holidays. When do they occur? Can you accommodate a special menu? Alternately, is your site closed? Do you need to consider delivery of items over a long weekend or storage of items over a scheduled break? Think about leftovers and what will be done with them. Can they be donated? Can they be reused the next day? How does that affect your menu? You also need to think about preparation and kitchen equipment. You may not want to have several complex recipes on the same day because it may overwhelm the kitchen space and staff. Additionally, you will need to consider your cooking preparation schedule and what each of your kitchens can accommodate. If you are a larger organization and are planning a menu for all sites, consider whether all sites have the same or similar equipment and staffing to meet the production needs of your menu. For instance, which items are you preparing that have to go into the oven? Do you have the time and space to cook both potatoes and pizza in the oven on the same day? Raw versus cooked foods. It is a great idea to have a balance between the two. This also provides a variety of textures and helps with workflow and equipment use. Take advantage of seasonal foods or best buys. Seasonality of food varies by region. By incorporating seasonal and locally produced foods into meals and snacks, you can highlight the freshest and highest quality foods available to the participants you are serving. Different shapes, colors, and textures create interest in a menu. Mashed potatoes with gravy, applesauce, and a breaded chicken sandwich on a whole wheat bun with fluid milk may include some of your participants' favorite menu items, and meet the meal pattern you are serving. But serving these individual items together in the same meal will result in a meal that is less than appealing to the eye. These menu items have similar textures, soft and smooth, similar colors, yellow and brown, and similar shapes, round. Think about this as you plan. If you have something smooth, make sure you add a bit of crunch. Remember that different bright colors look great together and appeal to the eye. A more appealing meal may be crunchy green beans, grapes, breaded chicken sandwich on a whole wheat bun, and fluid milk. Variety. Just like adults, children don't normally like to eat the same things over and over again. It is important to provide variety throughout the menus so that those eating with you don't get bored and stop participating with the meal program. Variety is also important for a balanced diet. For example, a variety of different colored fruits and vegetables offer your participants different nutrient loads. Once you have thought about the menu planning considerations and basics we have just reviewed, gather all of your crediting information, recipes, and the like so that you may start plotting out each day and week of your menu. For more information on which crediting items to gather, please review the Psycho Menus at a Glance document on the Oregon Department of Education Child Nutrition webpage. Build it. First, work on the main part of your meal. Determine which entree or entrees you want to serve each day. Are you varying your grains and meat alternates? Is there a variety within the week and throughout the entirety of the menu? Are adjustments necessary to provide more diversity, familiarity, or novelty? Next, start placing your fruits and vegetables into your menu. Remember to think about variety, flavors, and their compatibility together, different textures, seasonality, and cultural relevance. Add in fluid milk. Finally, add any of those extras that round out your menu. Consider condiments, extra foods, grain-based desserts. Evaluate it. After you add in each component, review the completed menu against the meal pattern requirements and for balance and variety. Is the menu attractive? Are menu items laid out in an attractive and logical way? Is attention called to the items you most want to sell, through placement, color, description, type size, etc.? For more information on evaluating your menu and dining space against these questions, see the Smarter Lunchrooms Dining Areas Checklist and webpage on the resource slide at the end of this presentation. Adapt it. Once evaluated, adapt the menu. What changes should be made based on the evaluation completed?